All right, gentlemen, listen up, because in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to break down 3 little-known masculine frame secrets that most men don't even know exist. And these are the exact frames that make younger women chase after you. And I'm not talking subtle interest here. I'm talking full-blown, can't stop thinking about you, wants to jump your bones energy, even if you're 20 or 30 years older than her. And it's not about your looks. It's not about your money, gentlemen. It's about your frame. And most men have never heard of these 3 frames I'm going to show you right now. And here's the kicker. These 3 frames don't just spark attraction, they make her feel it. They make her act on it. And they make it crystal clear exactly where you stand with that girl, taking out all the guesswork. No more of this "does she like me" nonsense. Just pure, hard flirting. More touching and more laughing at your dumb jokes. And you're calm, you're grounded, you're watching her melt like hot butter on a skillet. Now listen, this is the part that most men miss. When these 3 frames are all working together, not just 1, not just 2, but all 3 frames firing on all cylinders, that's when things go absolutely nuclear, okay? That's when women, especially the young, beautiful ones, feel something inside that they cannot explain, but cannot ignore. And the best part is, you don't need to be rich, you don't need to be famous, you don't need a 6-pack or have a yacht. None of that matters when your frame is locked in like I'm about to show you right now. So my name is Jesse. I've been coaching men for 22 years now. Men in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. And I've seen the same patterns because I've worked with CEOs, with engineers, with truckers. And time after time again, I see the same brutal mistakes. What older guys get totally wrong when they try to date younger women is that they do one of 2 things, and both of these are fatal. First off, they play it way too safe. They're overly polite, they're overly nice, they're too careful, and they try to be a gentleman with the woman, which sounds noble, but they end up waiting too long because they never lead. So they never spark anything. And you already know what happens here, gentlemen. The girl gets bored. Her interest fades. And boom, it's like, welcome to the friend zone express. And the second big mistake that men make is that they come on way too strong and they're clumsy about it. So they'll talk about sex way too early. And suddenly you're that creepy older guy and she blocks you, or she tells her friends, "That guy gave me the ick." So what ends up happening is that most older men are like walking around on these eggshells around younger women, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of looking desperate, afraid of looking old, and afraid of getting rejected. And guys start to believe that their dating life is over. But let me snap you out of that right now. When you learn these 3 masculine frames and you own them like they're yours, everything will suddenly and magically shift for you. Now, before I break down these 3 frames, I do need to hammer in something first, because if you do not get this, the rest of what I'm about to say isn't going to click the way it should. This is the truth, gentlemen. When you've got a weak frame, you start living inside the woman's reality, which has disastrous consequences. Like, if you take some kid, and kids have very weak frames in general. If you were to tell a 16-year-old boy, "Look, you're a loser, you're never going to amount to anything," what's going to happen is that boy, that kid, is going to 100% believe it. He's going to start walking around depressed, feeling down. Why? Because his frame was weak. The young boy is typically just going to accept the new frame being imposed on him by an adult, that he's a loser, and he takes it on like it's his new identity. Now, way too many men will do the exact same thing, but with women. Like, a gorgeous girl gives a guy a little compliment. "Hey, I like your shirt." And then boom, his whole week is made. It's like he's floating on air. He thinks he's winning. He feels like he's on top of the world. But then she doesn't reply to his text. No, she just ghosts him. And suddenly he's spiraling down. He's questioning everything. Now he feels like total garbage. Why? Because his frame was paper thin. Because he's letting the girl dictate his mood. He's letting her control the way he feels about himself. He's letting her control his identity. And that's not a man in control, gentlemen. That's a leaf blowing around in the wind. A leaf tossed around by every breeze, by every glance, a leaf tossed around by every text message. One gust of positive attention, and he's feeling high like a kite. One gust of pullback, and now he is feeling crushed. But now let me show you the flip side of that. A man with a strong frame, he's not like a leaf blowing around in the wind. He's like an oak tree. And like an oak tree, he's planted, he's grounded, he's unmoving. He holds a rock-solid belief about who he is. And the world around him is what adapts. I'll give you an example here. Say that the guy believes with every fiber of his core being that he is God's gift to women. He believes that he is the prize. That any woman who steps into his world is lucky to be in his presence. Now imagine you got this hot young little girl that comes along and tries to throw him off. So she looks him in the eye and she tells him, "You, sir, you are such a loser." Well, you know what the man with that strong, powerful, unbreakable frame does? He just smirks, he laughs, and without missing a single beat, he says, "So what is it about losers you like so much?" And boom, just like that, he reframes it back to his frame. He turns her little jab now into a flirtation. Because in his world, she's not insulting him. In his world, she is hitting on him. And guess what, gentlemen? When you have a strong frame, the girl starts believing in it. Because your frame is unbreakable. Your frame is like hardened concrete. And nothing she says, and nothing anyone else can say, can shake that frame. And that right there, gentlemen, that is precisely what turns a beautiful woman on. That right there, that's what gets them wet between the legs. It's not the approval seeking. It's not being overly nice to her. But a man with a strong, dominant, grounded, unapologetic frame. She will feel that, and she will feel that deep in her body. So here's how you want to see it. Your frame is almost like your personal reality bubble. It's the story that you live in. Your frame is how solid you are in who you are. So here's how I want you to see it, gentlemen. Your frame is like your personal reality bubble. It is the story that you live in. It's how solid you are in who you are and what you believe and how you carry yourself without being swayed by other people, without crumbling in the face of a beautiful girl, and without apologizing for it. Because the moment that she feels that you won't bend for her, that you're not going to break for her, that's the moment that light of attraction switches on inside of her mind. So the sexy, attractive, masculine frame, number one, that you want to adopt is this. Younger women prefer older men. I'm going to say that again, gentlemen. Younger women greatly prefer older men. And not by a little bit, not occasionally, not by accident. I'm talking younger women crave older men. Like honey draws flies. Let that sink in, gentlemen, because this has to become your reality. This has to be your frame, and a strong frame at that. Your default mindset every time you step out the door is, of course she's into me, because I'm older. That is the belief you need to have. That is the lens in which you see the world. Look, guys, every woman out there, she's crushed on the older boys at her high school. She had a thing for her college professor. She's fantasized about the older guys at her work. And let's be honest, celebs like George Clooney and Brad Pitt still pulling women in their 60s, still gracing the covers of magazines as the sexiest man alive. Because younger women are wired to be drawn to experience. They're wired to be drawn to confidence, to men who've been through the fire of life and are still standing tall. Older men, they simply know how to lead. That is your frame. Older men know how to dominate in the bedroom. They know how to handle themselves, and they've got the know-how, the resources, and the mastery. And if a beautiful woman has to choose between a clueless, frameless dude her own age and a grounded, capable, powerful older man with a strong frame, come on, gentlemen. It is not even a contest. She is going to go with the older guy every single time. That is the frame you need to have. And look, when your frame is rooted in that belief that women love older guys, not just like, but they love older guys, what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Look, when you just assume attraction, when you walk in thinking, of course she wants me, I'm the best option she's got because of my older age, when that is your frame, then your tone and your body language and your eye contact and everything around you starts reflecting that inner truth. That girl will feel it and she will respond to it. And even if you are slightly delusional about how much she actually likes older guys, if you believe it with conviction, the girl will start to believe it too. Because women respond to confidence, and not just regular confidence. I'm talking women respond to borderline, narcissistic, audacious, arrogant self-belief. That level of confidence is what turns her on, where she starts treating you like you are the prize, because you're now carrying yourself like the prize. Now, contrast that with the frame that most men are walking around with, right? The average guy, what's his frame? He thinks, well, I hope she notices me. I'm probably creeping her out because I'm older, so I need to prove to her that I'm worthy. I need to maybe buy her something. And look, gentlemen, what happens when that becomes your frame? Well, that becomes your reality because of the vibe you're giving off to the girl. And when you treat her like that, like she's above you, she's going to treat you like a low-value beggar. All right, gentlemen, let's jump into masculine frame number 2. And here's what it is, guys. Women are freaks, okay? And you're the man that delivers on what she wants. You're the man that delivers on her fantasy. So you're essentially the guy that she starts to fantasize about when she's alone in a room and she's got her headphones on and she's scrolling through that not so innocent side of the internet. So frame number 2, gentlemen, is that conviction that all these young, beautiful women deep down at their core are freaks inside. And yes, we're going there, gentlemen. I'm going to say it again. These girls, they all got dirty thoughts, and they think about sex, and they think about sex a lot. They crave to be taken, they want to be dominated, they want to be touched, and they want a man who goes for it in the bedroom. And what that means, and I want you to listen very closely to me, gentlemen, you're not out here trying to make this girl like you. You're not out here applying for boyfriend of the year. You're not here trying to talk about art with her or share your music playlist with her. No, you are the sexual danger in the room. You are the man that pulls her hair and grips her by the hips and talks dirty to her, okay? That is your identity. You are a woman's sexual service provider because they are freaks. You're the guy they go to get what they really want, to get that good sex. And most older guys fail really hard here. Not because they're unattractive, not because they're not young enough, but because their frame is weak, because their frame is apologetic. They walk into the room thinking, well, I hope she likes me. Maybe I could mentor her, or maybe we can start off as friends. Maybe after a couple of dates, I can kiss her. But what kind of thinking is that, gentlemen? That's why so many men get stuck in this nice guy purgatory, because they play it way too safe. They hesitate. They wait for all these green lights that never come. And then you know what happens? Nothing. They just stall out. No progress, no momentum, no spark. Just another great conversation that leads to a cold, dead end. But when you flip the script on that girl, when you adopt the sexual frame that I'm telling you here, everything will change. So here's what I need you to burn into your brain, gentlemen. These girls love sex, they're freaks, and I'm the guy that's going to give them the sex they want. I'm the guy who's going to bring her all that weird, freaky, kinky fantasies to life with no judgment. And when you walk into the room with that belief, now you become a closer. Now you start moving things forward without hesitation. Now you start taking that initiative and you start steering the ship. You ask her for her number, you lock in the date on the spot, you go for the pull, you invite her over, you lead her up to the bedroom, then you touch her, you kiss her, you undress her because your frame is so strong. And because your frame is so strong, she falls into your frame and she follows you. Now, one of my guys, 47 years old, just getting back into the game, no six-pack here, no Hollywood jawline, but I worked with him to internalize his frame deep down. So he ends up going on this date with this 25-year-old nurse who's cute, she's fit, she's smart, and the old version of him, he would have just sat there and sipped his drink, talked politely, said goodnight with a handshake, and gone home early. But this time, he walks in thinking, all right, this girl's freaky, she's horny, and I'm the man she's been waiting for. And because of that frame, he starts playfully teasing her, flirting with dominance, reading her body language, and leading the entire interaction. And by the end of the night, the two of them were making out in his car. So here's what I want you to take away from this, gentlemen. When your frame is timid and conservative and approval-seeking, you will lose. But when your frame is bold and it's dominant and it's sexually certain, you will win. Where you go from maybe one day to it's happening tonight. Now listen, gentlemen, if you're serious about this and you're tired of just watching videos and hoping that something finally clicks for you and you're done feeling that pit in your stomach every time a beautiful woman walks on by and feeling that frustration of doing absolutely nothing and you're just kicking yourself all the time for not taking action, then it's time to stop playing small and it's time to start getting real. Because let's be honest here, YouTube videos won't build that beautiful dating life for you. Videos give you theory, but what you need right now is implementation. You need a system and you need a coach who knows how to get you there to that holy grail of a beautiful girlfriend and do it quick. So this is what you need to do now, gentlemen. Go right here to youngerpartner.com because that's where I work directly one-on-one with men just like yourself who are ready to finally get that loyal and loving girlfriend they've always wanted. And as you can see here, I'm not just talking a bunch of fluff. I'm not giving you recycled advice or feel-good motivation. No, I'm showing you exactly what you need to say to a girl, exactly how to flip the dynamic on her to get that younger woman to pursue you. We've got men in the coaching in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s who came in frustrated, feeling stuck, feeling invisible, and walked away with girlfriends 15, 20 years younger. So go right here to youngerpartner.com right now and apply to work with me. We'll see if you're a good fit, and if you are, we'll build you a custom plan that changes your life. No more guessing, no more regret, just results. All right, guys, masculine frame number 3, and this is where the whole game changes. With this frame, you're not the one being chosen, but rather you're the one doing the choosing. So say it out loud with me. I am the selector. I am the decider. I am the one who chooses as the man, not her. She doesn't choose, not the girl, but you. And this is where most guys just completely blow it. They walk into an interaction thinking to themselves, wow, I hope she likes me. Man, she's hot. I hope I don't screw this up. Wrong. You don't want to walk in there like some contestant on The Bachelor trying to win a rose from the girl. No, you walk in there like you are the prize. Like you're the CEO of a company interviewing female candidates to be your secretary to get you coffee. And the question inside of your head is, let's see if this girl is actually worth my time. Because a pretty face girl, that is not enough. A pretty face is not enough to sell me. You're not sold on her just because she's hot. You're not impressed just because she's got smooth skin. You've seen pretty before and you've had pretty before. So the new frame is, I screen for more than beauty. I screen for her vibe. I screen for her values, her attitude, how she carries herself, because beauty alone is not enough for me. So here's the frame that you step into the room with. Yeah, girl, you're cute, no doubt about it, But are you fun? Are you smart? Are you interesting? Do you bring value to my life? Or are you just a sparkly little distraction full of nonsense and drama? Yeah, you've got a pretty face for sure, but what do you do to stay in shape? Are you the kind of woman that's gonna take care of herself? You're not gonna like blow up on me the second we start dating, right? Now look, I know that frame sounds rather bold, but that is the point. This is about showing her, without any apology, that you have standards, that she's being evaluated as well. Because here's what you gotta understand, gentlemen. Most younger women, they're used to getting lots of attention, and they get obscene amounts of attention. They're used to men falling all over themselves just to get a crumb of her validation. They're used to being surrounded by simps. So when a beautiful girl finally can meet a man who actually makes her qualify herself to him, that feels different to her. It's unique to her. It's special. It's magnetic. She's not used to it. It catches her off guard. It feels challenging but also refreshing. And that makes the beautiful girl start to invest. It makes her want to prove herself to you. And that's when she starts thinking to herself, damn, who is this guy? Why isn't he fawning all over me like everyone else? What do I have to do to wean him over and get his validation? And compare that to what most guys do. Oh, she's a hot girl? Boom, they're 100% sold on her instantly. And they start throwing compliments to her like it's candy on Halloween. They try to impress her. They try to match her interests with theirs. They start acting like her little sidekick, hoping to earn bonus points on their homework. And the girl starts thinking to herself, damn, I mean, this guy has like no standards. He doesn't even know me, and he's already acting like I am royalty. This dude would go get me a Starbucks Frappuccino and tell me thank you afterwards. Okay, so this is a weak man. I'm above him. And when she starts thinking that, boom, you are done. Now you're locked into the friend zone category forever. So here's how you need to reframe it, gentlemen. Yeah, girl, your beauty caught my eye for sure, no doubt about it, but that is just on the surface. I need to know what's underneath the hood. Are you smart? Are you fun? Do you have ambitious? Do you have heart? What's your story? Where you are evaluating her as a man who has options, where she feels like you have standards. And because you have standards, then she steps up. That's the frame you want to have. And look, when you combine these three frames together, number one, women love older men. Frame number two, these girls are all freaks and you're the guy to give them what they want. And frame number three, you're the selector, you're the decider, you're the chooser. And if you believe in these three frames with this unshakable, arrogant, delusional conviction, now you become that man that she cannot stop thinking about. That's when you become unforgettable and undeniable. All right, since you've enjoyed this video, you gotta watch this one next. The 4 psychological triggers that sexually addict younger women to older men. So if there's a girl you're crushing on, or you're seeing these girls walk down the street and you want to meet them and you keep getting frustrated because you don't take action, you gotta watch this video. Because this is gonna flip things around so you can date these younger, beautiful women and get them into bed and turn one of them into your loyal and loving girlfriend. So go watch it right now, guys.